September 1 is Tuesday. It is the opening day of dove season. And there are a lot of different things that are dimensions that are involved with hunting and dove season. In the studio right now, we've got Game Warden Aaron Sims. He's also a public information officer. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey, all right. Relatively speaking, there's a little bit different twist with the way you can get your hunting license this year. Normally, you got to go into the store in the past, and you have to pull out your driver's license and do all this stuff.
Right.
What options do you have now?
Well, yeah, what's becoming more popular nowadays is actually going online, going to our website. You'll still have to have that driver's license information, but it's a lot more convenient. You know, busy schedules. I know I have a busy schedule right now, but if you just go on our website, put that same information in, it'll be mailed to you. So that's another option.
So I'm interested to know, Laura, when you're applying online, obviously you probably have to input your driver's license information, et cetera. Do you have that same option? You know, because if you're a younger person, you can get a license, I'm thinking, but you have a specific period of time where you have to complete a field safety program, yeah?
A hunter safety course.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So how do you go about it? Can you still get a license online if you don't have that if you're underage?
Right, that's a great question. So you don't have to show proof of hunter education to get a license. That's because you could have had a hunter education from another state. Myself, I took my hunter education in New Mexico, so I purchased my Texas hunting license, but I'll also have to have proof in the field of my New Mexico hunter ed certification. So
if somebody lights you up out in the wild, you better have it in your wallet.
That's right. You should. So if it's from another state. If it's from our state, more often than not, it'll actually print right there on the hunting license. It'll say HE and then the number, and that's your hunting education license number. So,
yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah. So how do you get a hunting license? I mean,
so you can go to our office.
You just apply online?
You could go online. You can go to a lot of sporting goods retailers around Lubbock, you know, Gander Mountain, Academy.
How young do you have to be?
So that's a great
legally?
point. So any age, any animal in the state of Texas, you need a hunting license for.
Okay.
So if you're a 7-year-old, they're going to need a hunting license. The good thing is youth licenses, no extra stamps are required of the youth hunting license, and it's only $7. So it's pretty nice. We wanted to get them out there hunting and fishing at an early age. So the parents often purchase that for their children. But $7 and they get to hunt with their mom and dad. So if they're along with their mom and dad, as long as they're within talking distance, their hunter education from the parents, whether they have it or they were born before the date, which is on or after September 2nd, 1971. At that point, everybody's required to have hunter education. So if they're certified or they predate that, then that counts for their hunter education if they're hunting with youth, as long as they're within talking distance. And obviously that's for safety reasons, saying, hey, make sure you know your zone of fire, don't point the gun this way, and to give them a little encouragement.
Yeah, because there has to be some kind of education. You can't just send kids out in the field with guns.
Not by themselves, no ma'am.
Yeah.
No ma'am. So they'll either get certified or be with their parents who are certified or predate that certification.
Okay, next question. As far as legality goes, kid goes out hunting by himself. How old does he have to be? Or
9.
she?
It's going to be 9. They can get certified at that age. So, but I suggest going out with your parents,
9-year-old with a gun,
or older brother. You know.
Yeah.
But the hunter ed certification is pretty easy nowadays. You can get online and actually do it all online, but the youth are required to do a in-class field portion, so they can't do theirs all online. We want them to get out there, be familiar with their weapons and everything before they go hunting. So
okay, hey, we're going to hit the break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the bird population. The outlook for the hunting season opens up on Tuesday.
We have 3 primary responsibilities as state police officers: hunting, fishing, and water safety. So, yes, you're correct. On any of the area lakes, whether it's Buffalo Springs, Lake Allen Henry, we're the primary agency for investigating boat accidents and drownings.
Yeah.
But not in your bathtub.
That would be considered a homicide, so that would, or something like that, suicide. So we wouldn't go on that one. We could assist, but you're right. On the lakes,
okay, not your bathtub, but on the lakes.
Buffalo
What
Springs.
if you have a bathtub and you live on the lake?
Okay, then no.
Okay.
Not unless you died on the lake.
You had the water right.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. I noticed,
Yes.
gun safety is a big issue with me. And I'm like, okay, to get a license, you have to have, there's a mandatory hunting license safety training course. Is that right?
There is. Now, again, you don't have to show proof to get that hunting license because if you're
What?
right, so if you're purchasing a hunting license, you could have had a hunter education from a surrounding state, and all 50 states, will work. But
you had to have had a safety training somewhere.
you better in the field before
Okay.
we stop you. Now, there's a date. If you were born before September 2nd, 1971, it was grandfathered in. So
right.
they aren't required to have. But anybody born after that, and I encourage people born before it to still get it.
Right.
Because it's not just firearm safety. We go over a lot of ethics, too. There's a lot of things that aren't necessarily against the law, but they're unethical.
Right.
Shooting doves out of a tree, shooting ducks on the ground, and unethical things that may not be against the law.
So just because it's easy, Laura Mack, doesn't mean you can do it.
Right. Well, I was looking at statistics, and the mandatory hunter education courses being mandatory
Right.
started in 1988. And if you look at the statistics from they begin these statistics in 1966, for example, the number of fatalities due to hunting accidents have decreased
Right.
significantly since we started the mandatory safety education or hunter education.
Right. Yeah.
courses.
All around, it's been a successful program. As game wardens, if there's a hunting accident, whether it's fatal, non-fatal, somebody broke their thumb, we actually go investigate those hunting accidents.
Right. For example, there were 37 fatalities in 1968, hunting fatalities, and in 2013, 3.
Right.
So that's significantly
it is.
helping.
It is. It sure is. And that's what we like to see. We go over these things in the hunter education classes. And as far as outdoor recreational activities, hunting is one of the safest. There's hiking and a lot of camping things that people get hurt more than hunting. So you would think, wow, people have firearms and bows and arrows and all that stuff. But when they're educated and they treat it
Because a
properly.
firearm is such a powerful thing.
It is.
That I wouldn't feel safe sending my 9-year-old out there hunting without having had some kind of safety training.
Correct. Firearms, in my perspective, it's a tool. It's a tool to get a job done. So everybody has to know how to use that tool. A handsaw is a tool. A power
Right.
saw is a tool that could do some harm. But if you know how to use that tool properly in the proper fashion, then it could be safe.
Right.
Okay, got a question for you. I noticed
Yeah.
that you're wearing a body cam. Were you filming Laura Mack while she was interviewing you?
I am. I'm going to use that later
Oh,
on
dear,
an investigation.
Seriously speaking, I mean,
Taking things out of context again, right?
Can you turn that thing on whenever you want to, or are there?
Yes.
So like you could actually be body camming our interview.
Correct. There's some settings if it's on 24/7.
Well, turn it on.
No, he doesn't want to videotape.
It's pretty nice, Body cams are kind of the thing right now. It's probably gonna be mandatory at some point across. But
Well, it helps protect you, too.
It does, yeah, it does. I have it out in the field for investigations, also to help remember people's names. But if they say I said something, it's really nice and easy to go back to that body cam footage and show my captain.
We should have that here in the studio.
Well, yeah. Hey, I am just curious when you're body camming and stuff like that. How much time does in real time can you actually film without downloading your cam, or does it automatically dump?
It depends on whatever SD card or storage you have. There's a lot of different types and brands and everything. Mine is 32 gigabyte card, so it records quite a bit. And you can set it to a 1080p resolution or smaller and record more. So it can be on for several hours at a time.
Wow.
And
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a topic of conversation when I walk around and put this thing on. So people are like, are you recording me? So
Right.
you never know. You never know.
So you better be nice.
That's right. Yeah.
So getting back to the hunting thing,
Yes.
you had some limits you wanted to tell us about, bag limits or whatever.
Because
Is that
there are
what you
going to
call
be
it?
a lot of birds this year.
There are. So this is going to be a banner year for all wildlife. We had a lot of rain this year, as we know, across the state of Texas. And so that's going to be great. So specifically, remember, each species has a set bag limit for that species, depending on where you are. Now, dove, it's going to be 15 per person per hunting day. Okay, so that does not mean someone can go out and get 15 in the morning, go home, put those up, and then go out and get 15 in the evening. That's called double bagging. And each dove you go over 15, so 16, 17, 18, is a separate violation, up to $500 plus civil restitution. So don't do that. Know the laws, but by all means, ask questions. I always tell people they can call me and ask me a question anytime over the phone. I'd rather answer it over the phone as opposed to in the field because there's usually two different outcomes. So we're about education. So 15 per person per day for the dove. The possession limit's going to be 45, but that's for somebody camping out. Say you're going to go camping out for the weekend, stay Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You can have 3 days of your bag limit before you're heading back home.
Okay.
So that is something to know. Make sure you have your hunting license and the proper endorsements or stamps, as people call them.
On your person.
Right, on your hunting license.
Yeah.
So you can just really easy. Just get the super combo, and it has all your stamps already on there. But if you just have your basic hunting license for $25, make sure you add the HIB certification, the migratory game bird stamp, and the hunter education if it applies to you, depending on your age.
Right. What is the day that all this starts?
September 1st.
Oh, that's right.
So
September
it's on a
1st.
Tuesday this year, so a lot of people will be missing work. So they'll be out. A lot of these smaller towns, it sounds like World War III if everybody's shooting their shotguns. So just
And what exactly goes into effect on September 1st? Is it?
Dove
it's
season.
not all hunting.
So
it's
dove
just
season,
dove
but it really
season?
kicks off the 2015, 2016 hunting season. So hunting licenses are sold, and it starts on September 1st, and it's good through August 31st of that next year. So it really kicks off the hunting season. But September 1st will be the hunting day, the start of
I know
dove season.
nothing about hunting. So is it
That's
like
okay.
you can hunt anything starting September 1st?
Depending
Like
on the
deer and
well,
all
no, deer are going to be set on certain seasons.
And
So-
the seasons and the type of deer you can hunt are going to vary from county to county.
All right.
Right. And here's the cool thing. So all this information, if it sounds confusing to our listeners, it's in the Outdoor Annual, which you can find online or for free at any sporting goods retailer. Or you can actually download the Outdoor Annual app now for free, and it will detect what county you're in,
Right.
and it'll tell you what the bag limit in the season in your county, because it'll vary.
Oh.
So that's kind of nice.
Because my dad hunted dove, quail, and pheasant. So I guess he knew when all that
Right.
started.
Yeah, because there's different zones for dove, too. There's different
Yeah, it's
zones.
interesting.
yeah?
Like in some years, like you may have a pheasant season in some counties, and in the next year you may not have a pheasant season.
Yeah, correct. So our Parks and Wildlife agency is a big agency. So I'm in the law enforcement division, but we have people in the wildlife division that go out and census animals, make sure they're not overhunted,
Right.
and set the bag limits in the season. So we work in cooperation to protect the natural resources, but to also utilize them in a fun way.
Nice.
Just hear all the little birds telling each other, okay, stay in because they're out today.
You'll see them coming to town after September 1st. Yeah, they'll start hiding in my backyard.
Oh, yeah?
They
Oh,
are.
great.
They're smarter than you think.
They are.
The thing is if you even when you're fishing, if you can
Yeah.
see them, they can see you.
I have some very
Right.
sweet mourning doves in my tree out back, and they keep losing their baby birds.
Yeah, they're not the best nest builders.
They're not.
They're not.
terrible parents. I'm like, really, people build a better house.
Right. Yeah. They go with reproduction as number one, and
Yeah.
having more the better to survive for them.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, dove season starts on September the 1st, and you're going to be out on the field big time.
I will.
As is everybody.
County
So,
to county.
if you see the guys wearing, khaki and the body cam, walk up and hug your game warden,
Did we
right?
get the phone number of how people can reach you?
806-773-3946. That's my direct cell.
One more time.
806-773-3946.
All right.
All right, Aaron Sims, game warden and PIO for the game warden department. Thanks, man, for coming in. Appreciate
Thanks for
it.
having me. Appreciate
yeah,
it.
you actually migrated in this morning from where? Brownfield?
Brownfield, Terry County.
All right. Hey, thanks for coming in.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate that.